Yvette. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Agudath Israel Etz Ahayem Synagogue here in Montgomery, Alabama. I am Rabbi Scott Kramer. Welcome to our Shabbat evening service. I'm so glad you're here with us. We are praying out of Siddur Lev Shalem, which is downloadable as a PDF file on our synagogue's website. We will begin tonight's service on page 10 with Yedid Nefesh. Yedid Nefesh Avarachaman Mishoch Avdach Eritzonach Yarutz Avdach Kemo Ayal Yishtachave Muladarach Ki yerab lo yedidutach minofet suf vechol ta'am hadorna eziva olam nafshi cholat avatach anoelna Refanala beharod la noam zivach az titchazek vetitrape vayatalach shivchat olam vatikemu rachamecha Vechusna al beno havach ki ze kama nichsaf lirot betiferet ozach anaeli machmad libi chushana Ve'al titalam higalena afros chaviv alai et sukat shelomach ta'ir eretz mikvodach nagila v'nismecha bach D'ma'er ahuv kiva moed v'chaneini ki me'olam Yalla lai 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 lai, yalla lai 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 lai, yalla lai 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 lai, yalla lai 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 lai, yalla lai 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 lai, yalla lai 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 lai, yalla lai 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 lai, yalla lai 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 lai, yalla lai 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 lai, yalla lai 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 lai, yalla lai 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 lai, yalla lai 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 lai. We continue page 11 with Psalm 95. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena ladunai, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena ladunai, naria, naria, letzor yeshenu, nekad mafana betoda, naria, naria, letzor yeshenu, bizmirot naria lo, alechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena ladunai, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena ladunai, naria, naria, letzor yeshenu, nekad mafana betoda, naria, naria, letzor yeshenu, bizmirot naria lo. Please join me in the English. Let us go and sing to Adonai. Let us trumpet praise to our protector, filled with thanks. Let us greet God, raising our voice in song. Come then, let us bow and kneel, let us bend our knees in the presence of Adonai who formed us. If only you would listen today to God's voice and not become hard-hearted like the people at Merivah, like that time at Massah, in the desert when your ancestors tried me and tested me, though they had seen what I had wrought. Arbaim shanakut bedor va'omaram to'e levavim v'heim lo yad drachai asher nishpati v'yapi im yavaon el menuchati, page 13. Ashiru ladonai shir chadash, shiru ladonai kol haaretz, shiru ladonai baruch shemo, basru miyom leyom yeshuato, sapru vagoyim kivodo, bechol amim nifliotav, ki gadol Adonai, o mehulal miyod. No ra'u al ko Elohim lai kiko Elohe ha'amim elilim v'Adonai shamayim asa Hod v'hadar lefanav oz v'tiferet b'mikdasho havu l'Adonai mishpachot amim havu l'Adonai kavod v'oz havu l'Adonai ke'evod shemo seu mincha Uvaho lechatzrot av lai shtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh chilu mipanav kol haaretz imrum vagoyim Adonai malach avtikum tevel balatimot yadina amim b'meisharim yismechu hashamayim v'tagil haaretz ayiram hayamu melo yalo sadai v'chol asher bo lai az yiranenu kol hatziyar lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz yishpot tevel betzedek v'yamim be'emunato yalai page 15, Psalm 97. Adonai reigns, let the earth be glad, the many distant lands rejoice. Flashes of lightning illumine the land, the earth watches and trembles, mountains melt like wax at the approach of Adonai, at the approach of the Master of all the earth. Worshippers of idols be shamed for praising false gods. All that is deemed supreme bow before God. You, Adonai, are above all that is earthly, exalted over all that is worshipped as divine. Light is sown for the righteous and joy for the upright. Rejoice in Adonai, you righteous people, and thank God as you pronounce the divine holy name. Or Zarula Tzadik will Israel have simcha, simchu tzadikim badunai, v'hodu lezecher kadesho, page 17, Psalm 98. Mizmor shiru ladonai shir chadash ki niflaot asa hoshia lo yemino Uzaro Kodsho Adia Adonai Yeshuato Le'enogayim Gilad Tzidkato Zachar Chasta Ve'emunato Leveit Yisrael Ra'u Cholaf Se'aretz Et Yeshuat Eloheinu Horiu L'Adonai Kol Haaretz B'tchum Deranenu V'zameru Zamru L'Adonai Bechinar Bechinor v'kol zimara, mechatzot rod v'kol shofar, hariu lifnei hamelech Adonai, Yiramayam umaloho, tevel v'yoshveva, neharot yimcha uchaf, yachad harim yiranenu lifnei Adonai kiva, lishpot haaretz, yishpot tevel b'tzedek, V'yamim b'meisharim, yalai, yalai, la 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 la, yalai, la 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 la, yalai, la 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 la, yalai, la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yalai la 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 la, yalai la 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 la. Yai lai 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 lai. We continue, page 19, Psalm 99. Adonai reigns, nations tremble. The one enthroned amidst the cherubim makes the world quake. A sovereign strength lies in the love of justice, and you forge the paths of truth, judging Jacob righteously and justly. Moses and Aaron among God's priests, and Samuel among those who called upon the divine name, called to you, and you answered them. You spoke to them from amidst the cloud. They kept your covenant and the law you gave them. You answered them, Adonai our God, you were a forgiving God to them, even as you punished them for their transgressions. Ramemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu la'ar kadosho, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. We rise, if you are able, page 21, Psalm 29. Mizmor leDavid, havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, havu l'Adonai kavod shemo, ishtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh, kol Adonai al hamayim, el hakavod yirim, Adonai hamayim, hamayim rabim, kol Adonai ba'koach, kol Adonai behadar, kol Adonai shover arazim, v'yishaber Adonai et alzei halvanon, v'yarkidem kemo egel Levanon, v'siryon kemo v'nreimim, kol Adonai chotzei blavotesh, kol Adonai yachil midbar, yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, kol Adonai yecholeu ayalot, vayechasov yarod uvechalo kulo amer kavod, kulo omer kavod, Adonai lamabul yashav, vayeshev Adonai melech leolam, Adonai os leam oyiten, Adonai yevarech etamo v'shalom, etamo v'shalom. You may be seated. We continue with Lechadodi, page 23. Lechadodi likrat kala p'nei Shabbat nikabila, Lechadodi likrat kala p'nei Shabbat nikabila, shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, hishmi'anu elam yuchad, Adonai echad u'shamo echad, l'shemo tiferet veliti lalecha, dodi lekrat kala p'nei Shabbat nikabila, lekrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, כי מקור הבראכה מראש מקדם ניסוחה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך, דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, קומי צאי מתוך ההפכה רב לך שבט, בימי קבחה והוא יחמו עלייך אמלה לחד תי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. התנערי מעפר קומי לבשי בגדי תפארתך עמי היד בן ישי בית הלחמי קרבה אל נפשי גיילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי התעוררי קיבה אורי קומי אורי 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 שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לא תבושי ולא תקמי, מה תשתוכחי ומה תהמי, בך יחסו אני איימני ונבנתה עיר אל תילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. והיו למשיסה שועסייך ורחקו כל מבלייך, יסיס עלייך אלוהייך כי ימחז חתן על כלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי, היד איש בן פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. We rise as we face towards the west for the last stanza of Lachadudi, page 25. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצלתוך אמוני עם סגולם. בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. You may be seated. We continue with Psalm 92, page 27. A psalm, the song of the day of Shabbat. It is good to thank you, Adonai, and sing to your name most high, to proclaim your love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night. You gladden me with your deeds, Adonai, and I shall sing of your handiwork. The arrogant do not understand, the fool does not comprehend this. The wicked flourish like grass, and every evildoer blossoms only to be destroyed forever. Surely your enemies, Adonai, surely your enemies will perish. All who commit evil will be scattered. As my enemies gather against me, my gaze remains steady, for my ears listen and hear. In old age they remain fruitful, still fresh and bountiful, proclaiming Adonai is upright, my rock in whom there is no flaw. Tzadika tamar yifrach, ki erez balvanon yizke shetulim. Beveit Adonai Bechatzrot Eloheinu Yafrichu Od Yenuvun Beseva Deshenim Verananim Yehu Le'agid Ki Yashar Adonai Tzuri V'lo Havlatabo. Page 29, Psalm 93. Adonai is sovereign, robed in splendor, girded in strength. The earth stands firm, not to be dislodged. From earliest time you were enthroned. You are eternal. Above the roar of the vast sea and the majestic breakers of the ocean, Adonai stands supreme in the heavens. Thank you very much. Shabbat Shalom once again to everyone near and far. So glad you are joining us this evening for Shabbat. Before I make my short remarks, as those who have followed the very disturbing news today, first coming out of New Jersey and then in Birmingham. So in Birmingham, outside of Bethel, apparently a homeless person was trying to get warm with some propane tanks. He was arrested, and it was determined that this is not a terrorist incident whatsoever. And the incident in New Jersey has resulted in a juvenile being arrested. And I guess that situation is now in hand because they have somebody in custody. So I know a lot of us were really nervous. As soon as we heard about it, our president, Rick, came and inspected the entire building on all of our vulnerable points, and also arranged for police coverage for tonight and tomorrow. So if there are those of you that would like to come by and join us but are not sure about the safety, I believe that we are pretty safe. So so you're welcome to come and join us or stay online as well. Either way, we welcome you. Many of us know a thing or two about saying a blessing. We know, for example, how to recite a blessing before lighting Shabbat candles and Hanukkah candles. Some of us recite tens of blessings every day. But what do we know about being a blessing? Only in one instance in the entire Torah do we find an injunction to make a blessing and the commandment to bless God after enjoying a meal. Okay, I said that right, after. And this comes from Deuteronomy 8:10, which says, V'achalta v'savata uve'rachta et Adonai Elohecha al haaretz hatova asher natan lach. When you have eaten and are filled, give thanks to the Lord your God for the good land which he has given you. So the command, but the idea of being a blessing appears over and over again in the book of Genesis. The first time of which is in God's words to Abraham in this week's Torah portion, Parshat Lech Lecha. And it says at the beginning of the portion, I will make of you a great nation and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. And all the families of the earth shall be blessed because of you. Yes, we must behave so that all of the families of the earth shall be blessed through the agency of the Jewish people. We endeavor to be a light unto the nations, but that's a big macro level concept. It appears a bit overwhelming, leaving us wondering how exactly do we go about it. However, there is something here on the micro level as well. Just be a blessing. What does it mean to be a blessing? Well, God blesses us, and we must pass the blessings along. We ought never to hoard his blessings for ourselves. God gives life and light and sustenance and hope, and so must we give these blessings to others as well. Kabbalistic wisdom, while describing the mystical process that brought into existence both the tools for fashioning the world as well as the world itself, talks of two different types of vessels for God's creative energy. Some were containers open at the top and closed at the bottom. They allowed the life force to flow in, but did not let it flow out of the other end. The other type served as a conduit for divinity. They were not stopped up at the bottom. The Spirit flowed in on one side and out from the other side. Those that received but did not give ultimately self-destructed. They shattered from the abundance of good they tried to contain within themselves. Only those that passed on what they received, that were part of an interconnective network on both ends, fulfilled their injunction, were able to serve God's creative purpose. This goes for us as well. We must take a cue from the vessels of creation. No true good can be enjoyed without passing it on. We too must be open-ended vessels. Blessings are not meant to flow into us, but rather to flow through us. How do you be a blessing? With a smile or with a hug, but always thinking of giving, of helping, of lending a hand, by offering an invitation instead of waiting to receive one, by opening up to a stranger, by making someone feel at home, by teaching and helping others to learn, by offering insight and inspiration, by encouragement of a kind word. It is not hard to find ways to be a blessing. You just have to constantly be aware of it. One should always ask him or herself, is the world a bit better? Is the world a bit of a better place because of me? Is it good for the world that I am here? Has my existence added anything to the sum total of blessing in the world? We compute our carbon imprint, and our ecological footprint gives us pause, and that is as it should be. But those concerns are only a matter of doing as little harm as possible. We must go beyond that and strive only to refrain from damaging, but to repair as well. Let us ponder our blessing input, and then always strive, to be a living blessing. Shabbat Shalom. And we will continue with Ma'ariv. On page 39a, we ask you, if you are able to, please rise for the Baruch Hu, the call to worship. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Avoed. You may be seated. Baruch Atah Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's divisions, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky, who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from light, who makes day pass into night, who distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tzavaot is your name, living and ever-present God. May your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch Atah Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk. Umahavir yom mevi laila, mavdil ben yom uven laila Adonai Tzavaot Shemo. El chai v'kayom tamid imloch aleinu lamvoed Baruch Atah Adonai Hamari Baravim, page 40. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael amchavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadta al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachveinu v'kumenu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam voed. Ki heim chayenu v'orech yameinu uvohem manege yomam v'layla v'yavetcha tasim mimenu la'olamim Baruch Atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinanatam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'vlechtecha v'derech uvishachbecha v'kumecha ukshartam neot al yadecha v'hayu latotafot beinecha uchtabtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha v'hayim shamo tishma'u el mitzvotai. V'chol nafshechem v'noten mitzvah. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor daber el bnei Yisrael v'yamarta lehem v'yasu lehem tzitzit al kanfei v'gdehem ledoratam v'natnu al tzitzit ankana petil techele v'haya lachem letzitzit oritem oto uschartem et kol mitzvot Adonai v'asitem utam V'lo tatu racharei levavachem v'yacharei nechem asher temzonim achareihem leman disguru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kadoshim leloechem ani Adonai Eloechem asher hotzeiti etachem be'eretz Mitzrayim leod lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Eloechem Adonai Elohechem Emet, page 43a. This is our enduring affirmation, binding on us that Adonai is our God and there is none other. And we, Israel, are God's people. God is our sovereign, redeeming us from earthly rulers, delivering us from the hand of all tyrants, bringing judgment upon our oppressors and just retribution upon all our mortal enemies, performing wonders beyond understanding and marvels beyond all reckoning. God places us among the living, not allowing our steps to falter, and leads us past the false altars of our enemies, exalting us above all those who hate us. Adonai avenged us with miracles before Pharaoh offered signs and wonders in the land of Egypt. God brought Israel from its midst to lasting freedom and led them through the divided waters of the Sea of Reeds, as their pursuers and enemies drowned in the depths. God's children beheld the power of the divine. They praised and acknowledged God's name. Page 44. ומלכותו ברצון כי בלעיהם, משה ובני ישראל חנישירה, בשמחה רבה ויאמרו כולם, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדור בקודש, נהורת תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך בוקיים לפני משה, זה לי ענו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגלוד מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. Page 45. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, ועמידנו מלכנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ותקננו בעץ הטובה מלפניך, והושיענו למען שמך. ושמוצאתנו בין לחיים ושלום אתה ויעלם, ופעוש עלינו כת שלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני, הפועט סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל, ועל ירושלים. We rise if you are able. Page 46. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. We remain standing for the silent Amidah for Friday night, pages 47 through 52. Shalom Rav al Yisroel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisroel Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים Leolam. We remain standing as the ark is open. Page 56 for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol latet gdula liotzer bereshit shalo asanu kugoyei aratzot v'lo samanu kamishmachot hadama shalo sam chelkenu kahem v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרא בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו. וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא אלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד על כן נקווה לך אדוני אלוהינו לראות מהר בתפארת עוזך להביא גלולים מן הארץ, האלים קרות יקרתם, לתקין עולם במלכות שדי וכל מיני בשר יקרו בשמך, להפנות אליך כרישי הארץ יכירו וידעו כל יושבי תבל, כי לך תכרע כל ברך תשבע כל לשון, לפניך אדוני אלוהינו יכרו יפול, ולכבוד שמך יכרתנו, וקבלו כולם את מלכות שלך, תמלוך עליהם מעולם ועד, כי המלכות שלך היא עולמי, עד תמלוך בכבוד. כך כתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. This week, we will observe yard sites for David Empel, Ann Feldman, Dan Galinsky, Jennifer Beth Rosenthal, Joseph L. Schaefer, Ruben Morris Hannon, Sylvia Mazer, Alvin Bierman, Rachel Franco, Bernice Halfin, Anthony Moscow, Mildred Zellemeyer, Saul Ginsberg, Francis Goodman, Pauline Goodman, Rita Kassover, Harry Kishner, Lena C. Showolf, and Eliezer Weinstock. Those observing Yartzeit and those who mourn, please rise, page 58, and join me for the Kadisha Tome, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shmei Rabba, v'yamad divrach yirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yamechon, v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agalav izman kari v'yimaru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach li'olam ulmei maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitchumam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalol shmei kudisham barichu, Laila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran v'yoma v'yimaru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimaru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav, uyaseh shalom, aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'yimaru, amen. You may be seated. Again, thank you all for joining us, for joining me for Kabbalat Shabbat. If you didn't hear me say it earlier, the two incidents that made news, horrible news this afternoon and tonight, the incident that happened at Beth El in Birmingham. Apparently, there was a homeless man that set aflame some propane tanks to keep warm, happened to be right outside of Bethel, so that is not a terrorist incident, and the homeless person, I think, was arrested and or at least was detained. The other situation where the FBI had detected a real threat to synagogues in New Jersey, apparently was resolved. A juvenile was taken into custody that had posted some things on social media, but both of those incidents are considered not to be dangerous anymore, so feel somewhat relieved, but we still remain vigilant. Here at Agudath Israel, Etz Ahayem, we do have police coverage tonight and tomorrow morning. So feel free to join us for Shabbat services tomorrow morning. We are well covered. So, and thanks to Phil for keeping our community apprised of what's going on and keeping us all safe. So thank you very much, Phil. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. for Shabbat, continuation of Shabbat services. Tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. For the Alabama Community Virtual Havdalah via Zoom. You're all welcome to join us for that. That is only via Zoom, not in person. But tomorrow morning is in person or online. With that, we will go ahead and complete our service, page 211, with, and one more thing, sorry, I forgot. Sunday morning at 2 a.m., set your alarm clocks for 2 a.m., wake up, set your clock back an hour, and go back to sleep so that you will, and yes, there's a book club meeting on Sunday at what time, Yvette? 2 p.m. Okay, I'm sorry, it's an author that's coming in to talk, Roy Hoffman, and it's at 2 p.m. here at Agudath Israel, Etz Ahayem. So with that, and you should have all gotten a voicemail about that this evening, or yesterday, sorry. We will conclude our service, page 211, with Adon Olam. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'ed nasa v'chepso kol azai melech shemo nikra Azai melech shemo nikra, v'yacharei kichlot hakol levado, yimloch nora, v'hu haya, v'hu hoveh, v'hu yiyeh b'tifara, v'hu yiyeh b'tifara, v'hu echad v'yein sheni, l'ham shelo le'achbira, beli reshit, beli tachlit, v'lo ha'oz v'hamisra, v'lo ha'oz v'hamisra, v'hu eli v'chai go'ali, v'tzur chevli b'yetzara, v'hu nisi umanosli, minat kosi b'yom mekra, minat kosi b'yom mekra, b'yado afkid ruchi, b'yet yishan v'yaira, v'im ruchi giviyati, Adonai li v'lo ira, Adonai li v'lo ira. Shabbat shalom.